Like, yeah, well, let's just see. It's a few seconds until we get on the map. It'll be fine. So we'll have to see what they have. Leviatán will start on an attack here. 7-1 is their record right now, looking like one of the best teams in the Americas. And they are going to start off aggressive towards this A Rubble. Van's making a lot of noise here at door to start.
But Tui's is the one that makes the first noise. Changing into the role, back to the duelist, and gets the first headshot onto Tex. Meanwhile, though, Leviatán has also come out with a different composition. Aspas on this Neon, on Lotus, and by losing on that first blood, they have to reassess how they want to work the map, especially now that Les has flanked from behind.
We'll have to see how Tui's continues on the raise. Starting off like that to get the showstoppers going is going to be a very big boon for the side of Loud. And as well, this push here by Les, just so much information being relayed over to the team. Loud don't even have to move that much, and they've already taken control of the tree area anyways.
Just by doing that fault line and keeping King inserted at this spot, it really rotates Loud around and weaken up the defenses for a bit. But now the trip gets broken. You have Loud getting ready to set up here for the crossfire, and Kawazima is trying to get contact. Aspas is down to 34. Now Aftershock, he avoids it for now. As he pushes through though, Tui scores that second on the board, but Calm answers right back here at the doorstep. Pankata trying to assist and avenge his teammates, but the advantage goes back to Leviatán.
Still the 3v2. Chip damage everywhere right now, Vansili. Nobody looking good for this fight.
Did get some information from that haunt, but too little too late. Now only one stands, and it's Tui's to fall, and Calm scoring 3 into the round.
See how Loud reacts as we get into this second round.
Reacting with 3 players on the C-mount camera to even spot it up here if they could play aggro if they want, but it's a slide through from Aspas, scoring first. Les, though, avenges his teammates, and that's the camera that gets broken, but they still have an opportunity to pinch here with Kawazima inserted right at the revolving door. Could also be ready for this fault line too if there's more pressure coming out from Leviatán towards the C-Mound. There he comes. Paranoia first. Haunt towards the back, gets the ping on the defenders. Leviatán is able to just overtake the C site and stronghold it. And the last 2 players here for Kawazima and Sadat, looks like they were trying to flank behind, but too little too late.
Spike plant should be able to clean up these last 2, and Leviatán strat towards A, strat towards C. Playing behind each other well, collecting the kills, being able to close out.
Neon coming out, Mazzino on this breach.
Yeah.
Mazzino, who's been on fire last week against EG as this breach, and continues here to set up Aspas in round number 3. Bonus round now coming out for Leviatán.
All right, so insta fault line. You can see it already counting down there for Sadak, seeing how they're trying to use this. We talked about those windows Leviatán would be looking for. And this, I feel like, sets up Loud a little bit better for that second, that re-hit that Leviatán would want to look for if they're using fault line right away from Sadak. So easy for Loud to keep their comfort positions here in that default defense. They did have 2 over towards C, which has been rotated out here. So now Pankata is left alone to his own devices to try and stall, as he's going to need some help here in a second.
That was his last smoke, too, to try to cover the front C side. Still has Paranoia, but wants to keep it for the retake for Loud inside the C side as Leviatán overtakes it. They're taking their time, though, and trying to fight towards the spawn. There's that first contact. Aspas scoring first once again. Counter Paranoia. Couldn't wait for his teammates. Just tries to stay alive, and that's wasted utility for Loud's attempt for the retake.
Spike planted.
Trying to throw so much util in, but nobody's left the site yet.
Even Sadak didn't have a chance here to set up a flash. Caught out in the open. That might force the hand here of Loud to potentially save their weapons, but they're kind of caught out in the open for now. Even pushing the cause is Calm pushing into the waterfall. You definitely could see it here. Pinching the last 2 members of Loud. Pankata just swings out and Calm's just still once again trying to cut the rotation.
This round
will definitely go for Leviatán, but Calm
so smart.
Smart enough for that 1 kill. And wasting enough time for Mazzino to chase after it. And no weapons will be saved for Loud for the conversion of the bonus from Leviatán.
First 3 rounds there to get themselves this lead. We do see the shotgun coming out from Kawazima. They're trying to set up some close range attacks here with 3 at C.
Just a play that Loud even did against EG on this map, just trying to get the fault line so that the Neon could push forward at the bound and hopefully catch some players off guard. As Loud, in the eco that they had, or that they have currently, had 3 players getting ready to fight back towards the C-Mount. That keeps two players anchored up now as Leviatan's working back towards this A site.
And there's these trips again that were there last round. This allows Leviatán to keep pushing forward, not even have to leave a flank, which means you have more on the swing, more to face your opponent. And yeah, so comfortably in this position now, but they're not using the lurker just yet. They're all 5 to a site, leaving the rounds to come. Ooh. Possibly have that lurk, but it's not gonna matter.
2 kills with the Bucky, and that forces the Rolling Thunder out. Both of them hit towards the back of the side are Loud players. Now concussed, trying to stay alive. Sadoc's able to get one before even the trips over Mazzino. And Loud answers with the Thrifty.
Loud to sneak in. Kawanzin. Nightfall there. Less ultimate as well. Calm is gonna be able to answer back here. Sending out some nightmares on round 5 if they want. So this is now where they start to insert the lurk, right? Tex is away from the team. They're not playing a ball of 5 anymore on the side of Lev, but they're still working towards A. What they've been doing for the first few rounds here to keep Loud guessing.
That Thrifty you just got from Loud adds a little bit of hope here for them to keep the game close. Upgraded with so many weapons. Economy is good so far, but Leviatán still has their own bias and converted the bonus round in round number 3. So an important gun round for both of these teams. Nightfall activated to start on the attack as Leviatán seems committed to hit towards his B site. Tex gets one through the smoke, and that's the star player of Kawanzin dropping first.
All right, so a new strat in the book that they haven't used at least this Loud scene this game.
With that kill, there's no Nightfall to answer back from the defending side. Tex now fighting back towards the revolving door, pushing Pancata away, forced to reopen that sliding door, and actually both Loud players on the extremities of the B side winning their own battles. Advantage back in favor of the defensive side. Forcing now Leviatán to push out towards the spawn. King even wins the fight towards Hobbit, as now Pancata, the second one to come through, and as they flood win 1 by 1, the fault line got avoided by Mazzino, but Les was just greeting him on the other side. And Loud now converts 2 rounds in a row right off the Thrifty on this previous round.
Looked like it was going to get very scary there for a second, but yeah, Loud through right now. That was a defuse. Another round, they're going to put Lev down on a low buy here with a Hero King rifle. Few ultimates there to be used on both sides. This is now a lot different from Lev to spread the map. They push up A.
And that's why you have King on his Vandal, because Aspas has the overdrive. So they're faking this B side. They're even pushing across, and they're about to pinch against Pancata. Looking back towards the front, he's still able to take one before he falls. A great start for Loud, just to delay for a bit and give a chance here for Loud to rotate back. And there's that flank from the back.
Oh my god!
The adjustment on the second one onto Kawanzin opens up the C site, but looks like Leviatán wants to pump back towards B. This is where Sadak is waiting. There's that first, there's that second one as he gets blinded and falls back to even the situation and gives a chance for Loud to fight.
These are some hot shots, man. What the hell was that from Tex? Then the answer from Sadak under pressure of everybody rushing the front side of B. Everyone on their toes now here for round 6. This is going to be a big swing in the economy.
Spike planted.
If anybody can grab it and start to push down with these ultimates we have coming up too, I think we're going to get a swing in the whole game.
And 0 utility for Leviatán. And let's open up the door. You know he's going to be good for that fight. And as you look on the other end, Tex pinned inside that side. Full util, not even used as Sadak sneak through from Hobbit door. And allows here Loud to tie the game 3-3.
And not have to worry about someone that's pushing. Someone that's getting info from Loud on an extremity.
And for Leviatán, you definitely could see here, they're kind of going back to the default protocols of working Lotus. A 4-1 split to kick things off, trying to create some noise, but actually not really inserting Tex towards the A side. He's actually trying to work up towards the middle where Loud still looks pretty decent on these positions. 2-2-1 set up on the defensive side, and you have the line of sight on 2Es with the operators, so they could play this 2-2-1 comfortably.
God, with how fast Sadak has gone from tree to the left side, it's like he's still playing Neon. Like back and forth on this map to try and get the fault line or the flash points in the right spot to deny the play. A little bit of love towards A Rubble. Just a bit of fake here. But there's a touch from Lev almost on every part of the map right now as they still know C Mound is hit. Looks like they're going to play the door game again. And they are going to the strong site. Sadak has called this so well.
With so many ultimates as well for Loud to deny the first wave of utility coming in from Leviatán towards this C site. And it starts with the Rolling Thunder. That stops everybody in their tracks. They have to open the door. Kawanzin even gets one through the smoke, and that's Aspas. duelist down for Leviatán. Xeno, though, is able to walk through and get his own kill back onto Kawadzin, even things up on a 4v4, but there's only 18 seconds left. So now Leviatán have to commit towards the seaside. There's that hawk to come through. It does get a ping once again, so nobody's breaking it. An opportunity now for Leviatán to turn it around, but Les is still holding his ground inside C. There's the 1-for-1, but there's Penkata getting two right outside the smoke. There's no time left, and Loud will take the lead now on this first map.
What a scattered round, back and forth, and then nobody's shooting the hawk. Really hurt. Lev scraped together one more with low by armor. Zeros in the pocket there.
Now we're juggling the operator too, this time in the hands of Penkata. Knowing here that you have no more of that showstopper from Tui from a couple of rounds ago, they probably want to leverage him a bit to take control of the defensive side of Loud if they want to play this more aggressively. You see them working as a death ball, both initiators with Tui's trying to re-clear towards B.
It's going to be quiet once they get in there.
Cage triggered.
Honestly, that might be even more scary to not know where the members of Loud are coming from.
Sadak, though, gets the wall bang. Now we're exchanging blows towards the seaside with the spike down out in the open. Haunt thrown in, Les breaks it, but that gives the Yodio Q. Tex and Com, the last two players remaining here on the seaside for Leviatán. At least they have map control, but they want to work together to smother Les. There's that first peek, and there's that second one, both denied.
Matter now, low purchase here for Lev. And Loud is just throwing these shots back as hard as Leviatán wants to bring it.
Hard right now for Leviatán to take map control. A 1-3-1 setup as Tex was trying to find where the aggression was, and it looks like he spotted quite a few on the pressure towards Rubble, but once again, a quick call by Sadak to stack the players back towards B. It becomes a good read for now. Paranoia to slow down Leviatán's attempt to move inside, and they breaks the timing. The wall comes down, and it's free reign for Loud to drop the players coming through. And that spike out in the open and now covered by Loud.
Man, Sadak back on some initiator utility has such a great effect on the game. Just having that mind to be able to stall and promote situations that, you know, everybody play what you're comfortable on, and then Sadak feels like he can fill a role. And at some point, you just gotta be like, no, man, like somebody's good on this, you're good on this. And it does seem like they're taking a little bit more control towards that. As they push here, we're gonna get a 5v5 almost at Rubble.
They want to fight the stack, and that's a 1-for-1. Both duelists falling down. And that's a showstopper also eliminated. Now more ults available, and Com is able to get that pickup onto Sadak as the offshot missed by Penkata. Kawadzin out in the open, now covered, and also gets a second one. Oh, 4 for King, it's down to 5 HP. A 1 versus 2 for King, TP's towards the C site.
Gotta be safe. Gets the plant down, just 5 HP.
I could have killed him.
And yeah, and a moment to think about how this could go down. King been in the situation many a time, and he's worn the crown to come out of it too.
Now Cage coming up. There's that first kill, and Penkata just goes in, cannon in the chest. Makes Kawadzin
up to 3. All these rounds, these gun rounds after bonus. Loud.
Leviatán looks like they really want to answer back right away. Overdrive, but it's not clearing towards the left, but the Prowler will through the wall, and that allows here King, or forces the players to fall back. Should I say Penkata TPing away to safety. He's trying to still get the Palpatine hand outside the smoke, and no contact so far, but at least for Leviatán, they'll get the plant.
Just, they can't find any kills right here. Loud's doing such a good job at backing up a bit to absorb, and while they don't have positioning, they'll have some util to get back in. I feel like this one could be Lev's though.
Exactly, especially after losing Kawadzin. There's no block for the retake, but at least that util from Sadak still there. One more flash remaining, and it's a 1-for-1 at least for both of the Cyphers. Advantage still for Leviatán. There's that fault line fighting inside that smoke. And Tex steals that kill away now from Ospas. 4 versus 2. Last 2 players, you mentioned it, Rib. It looks like it's going to be a round for Leviatán, especially after Tui loses the op. Clock is ticking. Penkata will also lose his weapon as Leviatán finally finds something to fight with here in round 11.
Much more on this round, so that's one of the big ones that we'll see. As Loud actually present themselves to the front side of B for one of the first rounds here with that many players. Slow on the door too. This is gonna be wild.
He's got to contact so many players. And there's He's sliding up the scoreboard. Tex even denied that lurk. Sadak gets that pick, and it's looking good for Loud to close out the map with the flawless ending. Will do so.
Dude.
It looks like that championship roster from the past few years, but there's still a big question mark about those satchels. It'll be answered later on, though, as we do have Leviatán trying to fight aggressively at the beginning towards this C mountain. And as we open this door for Leviatán, they're able to even things up on a 3-3 situation with Tui's low on HP. Only a sheriff in hand. The wide swing out, and Aspas gets that pick, and Leviatán takes the advantage on the pistol.
This lurk coming through from last is crazy. Well, he's all the way in spawn already. And they're going to know. There's like, wait, there's no timing anywhere on the map now. We just have to think every angle is dangerous.
Last player
They have to get him quick.
Yeah. And now the double face. And Aspas gets the headshot onto Pancada, so Leviatán will be able to get their own pistol round here.
Maybe Leviatán's trying to get in that game a little early. As the cam goes out, it's going to be a very slow one from Loud here.
They definitely want to play some range. Tui's invested into a share, so did Les. They're trying to look for that long-range fight towards that A site where there's only Calm Jiggle peeking first, but there's still a camera up here by Tex. They continue to fight aggressively for Loud. There's an opportunity to get that information and get Calm ready for the flood towards A.
Little delay. Oh, Calm's putting himself in a pretty crazy spot, but this is good info. Aspas has already moved out towards Long C here on Mound, so a lot of what Lev is looking at, they know is true. Trips on B. Looks like Aspas is about to have a party.
There's no fault line coming out, though, from Sadak.
Yeah.
It's on cooldown. It looks like Aspas did have a sixth sense, anticipating a push back from Loud as things stay quiet on the A side. Falls back, and now the second war is picked up. Tui's now halfway through, getting the showstopper online as we're going back towards the A side. So nice little protocols from Loud just to make sure here they put the most chances as possible once they get the rifle rounds in.
At the beginning of this round,
30
they
seconds left.
started Mazzino on the left side towards C. The movement was towards A, so this hold here has been the call for Loud's play the whole time.
It's too good.
Oh my gosh.
Three players there with stay calm just because Aspas, you could trust them solo holding the
Exactly.
There's that camera once again placed behind that double stack, and
Yeah.
Lev having a little bit in terms of their defensive protocols of how to want to fight back against Loud.
With a quick relay bolt out C long, Aspas alerts them that that's his position, but he moves quickly. So they're just trying to get in the mind of Loud here as Loud reads the map themselves. I like this patient play and re-hit from Loud. The way that Loud, on Lotus mostly, is they do love to do the fakes, whether they re-hit a site at 15 seconds, they'll be at C and then they BC. That's B site, not BC. Because they're going in here on the smoke, just slowly playing it.
It's dangerous too, though, that Sadak was the first one trying to peek out with the spike. Now finally, it satchel across, and the rest of Loud slowly meeting up with the three players entering the C site. And it will become, looks like a commit now for Loud to get this plant.
All spawn almost.
Oh, the paranoia missed, though. It was a little bit too early. They're trying to get waterfall on top of that as well and hopefully connect towards the spawn. But now that Leviatán are actually in a forward position in the back of that spawn, they're looking to fight back. The cage comes up. It's a high-low through the smoke. But at least on the other end here, the car comes down towards the waterfall. A nice pincer maneuver for Leviatán to retake this C site. They're also on their bonus round looking to convert it once again. As now Pancada now sits alone on the top of the mound. Spike sort of planted for him here. Not until the smoke comes out. Right in the dome, and a second one there, the 2v1 clutch! Want to move quickly here, once again, mount control for Aspas. One-way smoke keeping Loud at bay. And the second smoke already comes out here on the defensive side in front B. Nice haunt being thrown at least, though, on the attack side from Kalanzine, so you can't play as aggressively for Leviatán towards the C entrance.
Slow walk towards A. If Lev can keep the game in this situation where they always have the fade and the breach util to keep getting in the site, their retakes should be so good.
And the fault line doesn't allow here Tui's to move in. You saw the relay bolts on top of that, and just from behind the execution. execution behind the box. And Leviatán are just anchoring towards this B site with so many players, a 3-player stack. No chance now for Loud to execute inside this B site. Despite them winning that round, only came in with 2 Vandals and pistols. And now it's Les left alone with the Sheriff against a full roster and the healthy roster of Leviatán. None of them hit by any damage, and to continue to survive with no damage.
Shout, they've been switching out how they've been playing this from the defensive side almost every time. Now it's King in Aspas to go off that left side instead of Mazzino. So really making Loud have to kind of do a little fact-finding missions to see where's the breach playing, where's the fade playing, where's the util coming from in the beginning of each one of these rounds, slowing it down ever so slightly.
Aspas avoiding the fault line, and a Boombot now definitely shows that Leviatán are not afraid to fight once again.
Right.
To see control that mound, so pivoting all of Loud towards this A site, but there hasn't been too much of an early rotation out of Leviatán on the defense. They still have 2 players towards this A site.
And a lot of that util was just used at C, so they're going to have to pressure into the site with contact on this one. Maybe a Paranoia, that Prowler. Oh, okay, they have the combo set. The protocol's ready. Can they get the kills?
Counter Haunt coming out too. That pings the 2 players in the front, but cannot land the shots as Tex, but Calm is still there to at least avenge his teammate for 1 kill. Les continues to be opener, but look at the HP remaining on some of these players so far. Les and Sadak on 5 HP. 2 players left alive for Leviatán, as Loud does have this plant towards the A site, and as they fall back, now things have calmed down just for a bit.
That's the Loud back and forth we were just talking about a few rounds ago. Quite a bit committed to the front to see the fault line, a smoke, a bit of util, and they were already hauling ass over towards the A site.
And Sadok's already ready here with the fault line as soon as that spike gets tapped. Doesn't matter if there's a smoke coming in front of that spike rather. There's that fault line that's going to stun both players of Leviatán, and Loud are just slowly clumping into this TA site rather. But you definitely do see it here that Leviatán cannot get the defuse, trying to do at least some damage as King gets that pick before he falls. But Loud will get that round.
Loud found all the members of Lev that were trying to be sneaky inside. Very spread out for a default here, as it looks like an orb grab start for Loud. And pretty big push from Lev here on their buy round to try and stick a fork in something that Loud's doing here. Just put an end to these rounds.
Here, Les hasn't really activated his camera yet. As he hears at least utility moving forward, there is that camera that's going to spot King taking control of top rubble. Now pivoting Loud to just aggress towards this C site. It was a weak side, a good call by the IGL Sadat. As it commit now for this plant, at least for the tap, to try to waste that utility. There's that Nightfall coming through and a wall bang from Aspas. That drops that spike. Aftershock at least trying to keep them at bay. As Mazzino's already in. Big flash coming through. They're slide in from Aspas, hit by the Paranoia at the same time. Tex does manage to get out. Slide for another frag.
Then you see all the kills start to come in. Just absolute chaos that Lev's trying to create here with this Neon play as the retake.
Basically playing chain together
and
making it work for the retake for Leviatán.
Good thing we're not on Abyss. Oh, man. All right, towards mid, a little bit of a B play here from Loud as they try to put a little bit of strength on that B site. You could actually see Sadak was looking over towards A for a fault line if they had less find any fight. So thinking about the whole map still as Loud's getting their first pushes in the touch and go just to get Lev moving around. But it looks like they're happy to be solid in their starting spots.
Loud has had a hard time here getting their economy right despite these rounds that they're getting in their favor for a bit on their attack side. You can definitely see the best weapon that they have currently in round number 19 is this Guardian in the hands of Les, working together with Kawadzine just to try to see if Leviatán really wants to try to push out. And now off the camera that got thrown out and instantly broken here, Loud are just going to continue to be patient and hold towards the spawn.
Loud just as worried about a Bucky. And they're like, they could do the same thing. Waiting for a low buy sneaky play here from Lev, but really Lev's just wanting to figure out where Loud's coming from. Not too much sneaky stuff is actually set up here, but Loud's still going to run the map. They're not going to leave anything to chance.
It was definitely a combination attempt there from Loud, or Leviatán rather, as he had that C's Aftershock. Now Loud with 10 seconds left, have to move inside the C site. Calm being an anchor at this pillar. Becomes once again another stronghold. Thankfully for Loud, they get the plant to get the economy rolling.
Yeah, it is big. coming in strong, and I think that's a huge one, especially on the lower buy, right? Get a little bit more money across everybody against the Rolling Thunder, but also have their own here. Does Leviatán go back to taking this A pressure, at least to insert?
Bring them down.
Or make believe that they did, as the rest of the map is worked here by Loud towards C.
Especially when the fast lane came out, the wall out from Aspas, making him think here that they're working towards the rubble. But back to a 2-2-1 setup.
Ooh.
My ult is ready.
So they go for the instant one. Can always get 2Es more in the following rounds to come.
Definitely see here they're looking for any of these players on both sides. The first one to make a misstep. Already the fault line's being prepped up by Mazzino. It allows for them to jump spot. Realize now that there's nobody towards the C site.
Yeah.
Pressure will be coming in for Tex.
Is it going to be enough time, though? They're calling the rotation, but they're just one side away right now. They'll be on the heels of Loud for this take. And Loud are trying to take back the economy and take back the flow of the game right here.
And Nightfall confirms now that Tex is playing passively in the back of the A site. These two Rolling Thunders on both ends are going to be so important, and it goes out instantly as the spike was left to get planted. Pencata scores first, though, from the side of Loud. Cowatzing still tries to get this plant in, and they'll be able to do so now for Loud. Holding back on the outside of the A site. 3 players of Leviatán are already towards that back. Drop it down. Tex again! The drive on 2 players of Loud gets denied. Advantage back here for Leviatán. King trying to find the information as the door gets open here towards this A site. Overdrive, though, denied right away. And there's that last player, finally spotted. It's 2Es. Tests it now as his role as a duelist. The jiggle peek coming out from Com. The white swing from Tex after the tap. Gets 3 in the round, and Leviatán ties the game.
Just played so calm. Such good communication between those two as well.
There've been masterclass calls on the defensive side for both of these IGLs. Remember these calls from Sadak with these stacks too. Both teams so comfortable on the defensive side, and once again, a little bit out of the strat book here of Loud as you have 2 players inserted towards the C mount, but this time it's not Aspas because Aspas has the op.
Shadows traveling.
Oh man, King is out there right now. Okay, double smokes go down. Not going to be a problem there at Mound. And you're right, that operator is out and waiting just behind the smokes at C. So how good is it going to be for a retake at A as we start to push back across?
And now a second test, an opportunity for 2Es on this raised roll.
We need to see it.
Showstopper is now out. The satchel in to clear out towards the tree, spotted by the camera. So this will be an easy clear. A least space gain now for Loud to overtake the A side, and Leviatán's just ready to retake.
And that's all it needed to be, right? Getting that pressure, and you have the raise. Use the raise's ultimate. They do get it online, and now it's going to have to be the shots. This is one that Loud was not able to capitalize on last round with the shots from Tex Grab in 3. And they're already in sight, ready to defend.
And a hard retake with the operator in the hands of Aspas, and Pencata's pushed forward at the staircase, head-to-head against Mazzino, and he's going to be able to get that fight. Advantage once again for Loud. They want to push across the smoke that was thrown on the defensive side. 3 players left alive for Leviatán, swarming back towards the A site as it gets delayed, denied on the defuse from the aftershock of Sadak. The second tap, Cowatzing closes the door from behind. King now left alive on a 1 versus 3, once a 1 versus 4.
And that plant proactive. Towards A, all 5, and even a switch up from Lev here towards A.
Exactly, Com came out with an Odin, did a little bit of a love tap through the wall onto Les, and that's a 1-for-1. The Garesha comes out, there's a beautiful hog thrown out too on the defensive side to get all of these assists.
Oh, nice shooting from Tex. It's now going to be the 3v2 with the Odin ringing out from Tree, causing even more chaos, less positions to stand in these fights. Man, Loud must be pulling their hair out when they try to run that 5 out of rubble for this round 22. Lev is standing right there taking pictures.
Not afraid of that smoke dissipating. Now Pencata is alone.
Jeez.
Back to
out. At the duelist this time are the fodder of the game, but it is exactly what needs to happen.
And they're risking a lot here for Loud. Look at their buys. Stingers, Vandal, and they have nothing left in the round. Trying to close it out right here. And Com is the one to get the second. Still gets a wall and potentially on that third, but has done enough damage to get Loud to rethink the map control here. As they went for a 4-1 setup, and maybe a lot of it has to fall in the hands of the lurk now of Les.
Easy clear. They know they still have a bit of tree control. And Leviatán goes back to these almost default defensive positions, right? Where they're holding the original angles of the round. Not forward, not putting themselves in danger. Lev sees one.
As you mentioned that, Tex did put himself in danger. B-side open, Mazzino waiting just behind. There's a Nightfall with the fault line. Aftershock into the site. It does connect onto one as Loud are forced to fight inside that side. Running through, greeted by Calm once again with the Odin. Sadak now stands alone, hit by the seas. The paranoia on top of that. The utility continues to be overwhelming for Leviatán versus Loud.
Mazzino's movement there was sick. Just the way he used Flashpoint there and then just checked the corner.
Yeah, trying to run away here as Calm gets the Odin spray. One thing to commend here on Calm's utility from last week into this week continues to be a pivotal initiator player for Leviatán's success.
Stuff.
And now giving a chance for Leviatán to close up the first map against Loud. On Loud's map pick, a change coming out on their end, trying to pull out all stops, trying to stay alive here for a chance to still reach playoffs on their end, on the side of the Brazilian team.
You can see what Loud put into this too, how much Lev has had to kind of struggle to get their form on for this game, and now Aspas pushes again to get the form here at Mount.
And counter paranoia coming out too on the attack side on the B, thankfully from Picada, to at least keep the players of Loud alive here. In the back of the C, it looks like they were about to get swarmed.
This is the iconic re-hit would be around for Loud here. Just wait out the clock, get this utility back up. I mean, fault line's already ready, so they could go for something tricky to start.
And that first wave, that trap play attempted by Leviatán, doesn't give them enough utility here to try to hold back the attack on the C side. At least the weapons will. King answering first onto Tui's attempt to enter the site.
30 seconds left.
The pivot goes back for Loud. Trip onto one, TP across. Hat coming through to get some information as Sadak tries to get this plant down. Tex trying to look for a play. Cage comes up. Calm just waiting here with the Odin. Aspas feeling that it was two players pushing out towards the spawn against them. And they're still delaying all of these plans. Finally, it's committed. Les is able to get a sneak through, but Aspas still able to get 2 kills first. And that will nullify all of that lurk coming through from Les. Flashed by King, dropped by King, and Leviatán will get the defuse and the win of map 1.
What a first map of this series. Leviatán, they may make it a series where they do put a tarnish on that Loud record. But we will have to see. There's a lot more game to go, and for Loud to come out looking a little bit more comfortable, they look stronger. It looks like they feel good in their spots, but still falling a little bit short of the power that Leviatán still brings to the table, making waves with whatever they do here. And you still got Aspas on the front line, but man, Calm and Tex on the top at 22 and 23 kills. Those two overall for both stages have been showing up.
Yeah, especially when they were questioned so many times where it's always the Aspas King or Mazzino show and the other one's falling behind. They're definitely stepping up to the plate here to give a chance for Leviatán to close the series. Next map coming up will be Icebox to see if they can close it with a 2-0.